531 PI.
It is 8:34 for Tuesday, the 14th of October. I'm William Terite. It is wonderful to be in your company this morning. Reach out to us, Pacific Mornings at pmn.co.nz, on our Facebook page 531PI, and on the text machine 531. Would love to hear your views, your thoughts, your opinions, particularly on the interview in the last hour with Deputy Prime Minister David Seymour. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. All right, let's turn our attention to another talanoa now. And local elections have returned a number of Pacific people to seats around the council table right across the motu. This morning, we're catching up with Mātanga Hana Whanene-Taiti, who has secured another term as councillor in the Ōamaru ward. She joins us live now. Tā lofa lava, thank you very much for your time, and firstly, congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you so much, William, and lovely to have this opportunity to talanoa with you.
Likewise. Look, before we even get into it, I mean, this is nationwide, of course, so give us a bit of background into yourself before we get into the specifics of, again, winning the recent local election vote.
Yeah, sure. Like, I was raised here in Ōamaru in the South Island, here on the mainland. Both my parents were from Samoa, from the villages Vai'e, Mota'a and Saleimoa. So yeah, we grew up here in a very small rural provincial town here in the South Island. So it's been an awesome, opportunity to grow up here, go away, do your schooling, and then come back and serve the community. And the next thing, I'm standing for local government. So yeah.
And with that being said, look, you've been re-elected. What do you think that means? I mean, in terms of, have you been able to deliver for your community? Give us a bit of sense as why the public trusts you.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's a good question. I guess this is my third term, so it's my third opportunity to serve at this level, and I think strategically it kind of places the voices of our Pacific community in an important pivotal space where we can advocate for the needs, but also not only at local level, but it gives me the leverage to look for other opportunities at regional and national levels, and that's what I do. I'm also CE for Ōamaru Pacific Island Trust, and we're the only Pacific provider here based in Ōamaru. So my team delivers a whole range of different social, health outreach, employment training, community outreach services and support for the whole community. So I think both roles are complementary, and it just helps give that visibility, that boost, and leveraging for more opportunities that we wouldn't normally have here in rural provincial New Zealand.
Indeed. And I think, in terms of news coverage, we often focus on the metro centres when it comes to our Pacific candidates. Give us a bit of an understanding of the area that you serve in terms of its population makeup, and whether that was an uphill battle for you when it comes to campaigning.
Yeah, no, thank you. Like Waitaki district, we have a large geographical, area. It's very large. About 24,000, residents here, and the Ōamaru ward, which is the ward that I live in, and Suvan is the largest of that. So most of our Pacific families reside in the Ōamaru ward, and about 80% of our Pacific families are under the age of 40. And a number of them aren't able to vote, either they're brought over to fill the labour shortage at the primary sector industry here, say, for example, at Alliance, at Freezing Works and things. So, I think when we look at, the migration shift of our Pacific from the metro areas to the smaller regional areas, there are opportunities that are very different and not the same as what they would be at metro. You can still buy a house, here you can... our kids can, they have good schools here. A lot of our Pacific students at the Ōamaru schools, the school roll is, between 30 to 50% Pacific. So there's a growing opportunity, youthful population, great economic development and social opportunities here for our families.
Indeed. With that being said, I mean, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I want to get a sense of what your voter base is, because in metro centres they often highlight that they've got the benefit of huge Pasifika voter numbers in terms of supporting Pasifika candidates. Could the same be said for an area like yours?
It could be, but I really appreciate the non-Pacific voters that are here. They know my work, my heart, but it also representative of the community and the emerging opportunity community that Pacific offer here. So I feel a lot of my voters that got me here, are also non-Pacific, and I do need to acknowledge, the trust and confidence that they have placed in me. So, when I do open doors, it's not just for Pacific, but it's for rural, provincial Aotearoa.
I like that. With that being said, where do you sit politically on the spectrum? Are you left, right, centre, or someone who refuses to be boxed in?
I sit in the box that empowers community to build capability. So that's my long-term vision. That's what I campaign for 365 days a year, William. So,
Oh man, your rhetoric's on fire. I like this. You should come serve where I live. With that being said, talk me through some of the challenges in your area and, what hit on the campaign trail.
Like how the unfunded government mandates are a significant challenge. Like we sent through our water plans to DIA prior, the elections, and I think the affordability of rates increase is going to be significant, like for our community here, and especially when it's rural community. We don't have any tertiary providers here as well. Majority of our local economy is based on the primary sector and related industries, and that's where the bulk of our Pasifika are working. So I think amidst the challenges, affordability, rates rises, just rural, like equity challenges, there's still those pockets of opportunities that we can help upskill and provide workforce development for our community.
What's the District Council's relationship like with, say, central government?
It could be a lot stronger. And I think there's a good opportunity in terms of partnerships that we could arise. Like our MP is always supportive of our work here at the Pacific Trust, but also of Councillor. And I think we can equally work together just to kind of get those opportunities and leverage what we can to do better, like for our communities. I think there is an onus, like in terms of accountability for rural communities like ours that are very different to the metro areas. So I think a lot more work needs to be done on that. There are a couple of us that have really good relationships with central government, and I think as a whole, we should be encouraging that a lot more.
Indeed. Look, as you highlighted, you've been at the council table for some time now, Deputy Mayor as well in that capacity. With that being said, do you feel like Pacific voices have been taken seriously at your council?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so. Like our CE and, like our council team are they're actually quite progressive in their thinking.
Okay.
Like we have a good emerging and working relationship with the local rūnaka, Moiraki. So, I think it's a great opportunity to kind of show some leadership around, like our migrant communities, but also ensuring that, we serve Te Tiriti principles,
Sure.
which should be at the heart of it as well.
Yeah, certainly. And in terms of, it's a growing region where you serve, with that being said, I think there's also this misconception for our Pacific communities living in, say, metro areas that they can't find opportunity in our rural areas. What do you say to that to kind of quash that belief?
I think, like in the last 15 years, the growth, like of our Pacific, like since 2013 to 2023, our Pacific community have grown 151%. So, like our church, like base has grown, like our kids are filling up the school roles. Like I think there's lots of unseen, like kind of opportunities. And especially for our Pacific communities, the Fijian, Tuvaluan and our Tongan communities, like they're not afraid to kind of navigate outside the metro areas and build, like new lifestyles here. So, I think we need to quash that kind of myth. But yeah, there's heaps of opportunities down here.
I don't often say this, but you are remarkably articulate from the very short time I've had talking to you. Do you have any ambition to say mayoralty or even go to central government?
Oh, and I think there'll be a time. There'll be a time and place, and I think we just need to discern, like those pathways for where we need to make the biggest impact,
Sure.
like and aspire and have the largest influence for where we are. So at the moment, like I'm happy where I am, really grateful for the opportunity to serve in this capacity and look forward to the next 3 years.
I'm going to be a cheeky journalist here. You're not ruling it out, though.
Not quite yet. There will be a time.
Okay, awesome. Hey, thank you very much for your time. Before we wrap it up, though, is there anything else you'd like to say or mention, perhaps?
No, just thank you to, like all of my supporters, like that have helped to get me here. Like these things are never done on our own, like it's always on the basis of the collective. And I'm just really grateful, like, and I'm just looking forward to this opportunity and I will deliver. I'll deliver for our community and, like that's something that I've always promised to do. So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Indeed. Hey, thank you very much for your time. That is Mataanga Hana Whanene-Taiti. Really appreciate it and all the best with this next term, eh?
Awesome. Thank you so much, William.
You're listening to Pacific Morning.